Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Triple Shot Podcast here on the Know It Alls channel, featuring the Triple OG Shannon White. That's me. Uh, hey, it's a great Thursday. Blessed and happy to be here. Hey, it's game day, fellas. It's preseason game number one of the Mike McCarthy era. I know that we're all super excited. Just it's the unknown. It's always exciting when you have these as many changes as the Steelers have experienced. So we're all going to get our first glimpse because, like I said, the majority of us haven't been to training camp and been able to see these guys working live. So, I've had to rely on other people that have, feet on the ground and firsthand experience seeing it. But now tonight we'll get to see at least something. Like I said, it'll be vanilla as the preseason always is. But some football's better than no football. And it's not fake football. This is real football. And it really matters for a lot of these guys. And it isn't going to be as schematically advanced as we'll see in the regular season. But again, thank y'all for being here for the latest edition of the Triple Shot. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Tell a friend, tell somebody. Keep know-it-alls growing. We're trying to provide great content, and we have such a great community here. And hey, I'm prejudiced. I want everybody to know about it. I want everybody to become part of the know-it-alls family. We've already got a good crowd here. Big at you, big dummy. Yeah, appreciate you, man. He's always one of the first, and he was by far the first one here. I was sitting there playing around with things 15 minutes before the podcast, and he was already here saying hi and good morning. So I see Jay Steed, and there's Wes Hackett, Chris Sawyer, and Dwayne. Dwayne's talking about, hey, family. Yes, that's what we are. We're a family. Let's see, I got Jay Hardy. There's Mark Cunningham. Said it's the Triple OG, the Know-it-alls voice of the reason channel. I try to be. I'm not a hype man. I'm not going to blow smoke. I'm just trying to. I don't speak in absolutes or guarantees. We don't know. Nobody knows. We don't know what tomorrow brings, but we're going to root for the Steelers, and we're going to stay positive. You can always count on that. I see Christine. Hey, Christine. And let's see here. Everybody's already having some interaction, so I love that. Andre Green said, "What's up, Shannon?" Pickett, you big dummy said, "It's finally game day. Let's go." Yeah, that's kind of. I think we're all in that same boat. We've just been waiting, anticipating with bated breath. But Air Steak Mo, hey Steak. He said, "What's up, sir?" Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. Just trying to catch up with everybody. Keith Williams, Jared Evans in there, Kevin Reed. But tonight is and hopefully it'll be available national on the NFL Network, and everybody get to watch it, even if you're not regional. And because sometimes I have to get the NFL Plus, and I'll get it the free preview during the preseason, just so I can watch the Steelers games, and then I cancel it because I am regional here in Southern West Virginia. If I usually get all Steelers games, so I just don't get the preseason games because I'm blacked out. That's aggravating, because it affects me being able to watch. I also watch the Pirates or try to, and they'll block me out of there too, or black me out, I should say. There's Reginald Rivers, and he says, "What's up, Steeler Nation?" from Bartlett, Tennessee. Love Tennessee. We vacation down in Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. We go down there every year, at least once. We love going down there. It just feels like home to me. It's kind of similar to here, and the people, the Southern hospitality, and I really enjoy it. Tonight is there's so many guys we're all excited to see play. There's so many positional battles going on already, and tons of speculation. So please, if you have comments, share them. If you have questions, share them. We want to try to get everybody as prepared as possible for the game tonight. If you have something, I want people to I want my voice to be heard. I remember, I don't know how many of y'all used to watch Sports Beat with Guy and Stan, but I love Sports Beat, and I would call in and talk to them on the show. They knew me by name, and I really liked those guys, it was always great to have something I really wanted to get off my chest and be able to say it, and then hear feedback from it. So nowadays, you can just come on our podcast and your comments are right there. But if you have a super chat, like I said, it helps the channel, it helps the know-it-alls, it helps us grow and provide content. So by all means, share, because we all want to hear it. Steak Mall said, the Pirates unfortunately have pooped the bed, so you can just focus on the Steelers. It's so sad that most of the time, especially by the time the season starts, you forget about the Pirates because they're already eliminated. And this year, they had the number one offense going into the All-Star break, and they had blown so many games because of their terrible bullpen situation, and they waited too long to address it, and now I think it's too late because now the bats have cooled off. And as you say, they're not doing anything right at the moment. But we're going to keep this Steelers related and not bring my disappointment with the Pirates into this. But Kevin Reed says, Rudolph throws an interception, Howard throws a touchdown or two, in my opinion. He needs that to happen. I mean, I don't want to see Rudolph throw interceptions, but I mean, Howard needs to step up in his first. We got to remember, this is his first real action since the NCAA championship. And, he has more to prove than anybody, I think. And these preseason games, the staffs are more important to him than maybe anybody else on the team, to be honest. Let's see here. Andre Green says, Shannon, let me bring that up. He says, Shannon, I'm excited to finally see Pittsburgh Steelers football. Although it's only preseason, yes, but it's still Pittsburgh Steelers football. And speaking of Pittsburgh Steelers football, the Steelers yesterday was getting ready to do my 9:00 podcast on Steel Curtain Network, me and Jeremy Betts. And when I went over there before we started, he said, did you hear the news? I said, what news? Because we just did Pump Your Brakes here on Know-It-Alls. He said the Steelers brought Landon Roberts back. And I'm like, hey, that's awesome. I'm a big Landon Roberts fan. Now, I did get frustrated in the way they used him in Mike Tomlin's defense. Because if you had a guy like Robert Spillane and Landon Roberts, instead of accentuating what they do great, we put them in coverage situations that they do not do well, that they can be exposed. You can have a guy like Spillane and Roberts in coverage occasionally, but you can't be predictable. And the Steelers' old defense got so predictable. And if they could repeatedly target Spillane or Roberts if they were in there. And now I will admit that towards the end of Roberts' tenure in Pittsburgh, he got more functional within the coverage aspect, and he wasn't as huge a liability. Meaning that sometimes he give up the catch, but he tackled short of giving the first down conversion. He limited the damage. He'll never be a great coverage linebacker. That's not what he's been brought in to do. But I want you guys to think back with me. If you remember, Roberts would blitz up the middle sometimes, and he's like a cannonball coming up through it. And he would blow up the poor old running back and tried to step in for a pass protect, would get blowed up. And then he would go through and he at least disrupted the play, if not get the sack. So I'm very excited to have Roberts back. I think it does not bode well for the people on the depth chart named Malik Harrison, maybe. Because I can't imagine they keep Malik Harrison after signing Landon Roberts, because they're the same type player. And actually, I think Roberts is better. But again, he'll have to earn it. But that's just my early prediction. Let's see here. Pickens says Roberts is back. That's right. Steak Mall said, interested to see what Broderick looks like. I think we all are. I know he's smaller, but they say he's doing pretty well at practice. So, and some of the defenders are saying that he's giving them some reps, that he's tough to go up against right now. And I've seen him in a couple of the live one-on-ones, and they showed the little clips, and he seems, he's always can move his feet. The problem is with him is what we got to see is, can he ever focus? And if you lose the maybe the hand battle or the beginning of the rep, he has to continue to battle and play to the whistle. Those are the things. It's a focus issue with him. And, and he needs to work on that and focus on that, especially while he's recovering from this neck injury and surgery. Wes says, Howard will probably be nervous, but hopefully we will see something good. Exactly. I mean, guys, how much rest is there? I mean, when you haven't really played, you're going to see your first live action and the bullets are flying. Hopefully he can shake the nerves off and get focused. And, a lot of times you have to take that first hit to get past that. Like if you've had an injury, you're coming back from a major injury, you take the first hit and you realize, okay, it's going to be all right. And then you can get into the flow of the game and the rhythm. There's a rhythm to the game. And that's why you hear defensive coaches say, we want to disrupt the rhythm, especially for a quarterback. One of the rhythm of the routes for the receivers, throw the quarterback and the wide receiver out of rhythm. So hopefully he'll find his rhythm tonight. Let's is it Carolinitis or Carolinitis? Said, how are you doing? We're doing great. I've never seen you before. Maybe you're a new listener, or if you are, then definitely become a member. If you're not, like and subscribe. Mark says, facts, big old facts. Yes, that makes me think of my buddy Big G every time. Kevin Reed says, Alar will be sacked 2 to 3 times. Well, the thing is, he might, again, because if you're learning to process at the speed, even the preseason game, the speed and the intensity is going to be more than practice, as we know. You got a lot of guys fighting for their NFL future. So I would rather see him take a sack than just, I mean, he can throw the ball away, of course, but rather than force the ball or try to make something that ain't there. Because right now, it's only preseason. Yes, I'm not concerned so much about an interception, but you want to see risk assessment. Is it worth this trying to make this throw? So he might take a sack just because, he's unsure. But I think that the offensive line, each level, first string, second string, even third string, is much better than what it was in the last few years. So I'm expecting the offensive line to give these guys better protection than we've seen in a while. I'll be honest. Christine says, I don't think Howard is competing against Mason or LR. He is going to be competing to see if he is worth keeping 4 quarterbacks on the roster. Again, you just don't know. We don't know what McCarthy's vision is. It's hard to imagine keeping 4 quarterbacks because you have that one, the third quarterback is the emergency quarterback that he dresses, but he doesn't count against your active game day roster. The fourth quarterback is just going to be buried. I mean, I don't really see a fourth quarterback being any different than the practice squad quarterback. At least the practice squad quarterback gets to compete against the defense, during the week. I don't know about the fourth quarterback. I at this point, I'm still thinking that they keep 3. And that, Rudolph is going to have to beat Howard and vice versa. Howard has to show that he can be at least on Rudolph's level already. He really needs to outplay him just to take any doubt away from everybody. And I think if Howard can't beat Rudolph at this point, we got to see all 3 preseason games. But I think that the best thing for him would be practice squad. Drake says, Shannon, Stiller family, Finally got something finally got something to watch. Exactly. If I can read and not get tongue tied. But tonight, there's guys we're not going to get to see. It sounds like Metcalf and Pittman, uh, are not going to be playing, which I would question whether there's a reason to play him anyway at this point, especially if Rodgers not playing, because we want to see that chemistry in the game action. And I think that's week 2. I've not even heard what the 2 injuries are, but they don't sound like they're nothing serious. But the guys we have want to see is the young guys getting their first, taste of the NFL. I really wanted to see a Hanator tonight. I think we all did. I'm excited. It's exciting to watch him. That size, that athleticism, that length, everything. He looks like a prototypical NFL tackle, not just right tackle. I think he's got the feet, the mobility, the intensity. He can play either side. But thankfully, we got Falatino on that left side now, and Hanator can focus on working the right side. But we're not going to get to see him tonight. But there is a lot of other guys that we're going to get to see. Just thinking with the offensive line, who's going to look the part? I mean, I think Spencer Anderson starts at right guard tonight. I know a lot of people, we all value him for his versatility because the guy can play all 3 interior positions. He has so much value, but I think he's earned the right to start out as the starter and see if he can earn that position, focusing on one position. He didn't get to focus on one position even when he was in Maryland. So we want to see him be able to, see what is his ceiling. Is he a guy who could be a capable starting right guard in the NFL? He has never really had a chance to prove it either way. He has great value and to the team and on the roster. He is going to have a roster spot, no doubt, because of that versatility. But give the guy a chance before we make any absolutes about whether he can be a starting right guard in the NFL, especially with proper coaching and an improved cast on all around. If the offensive line is about chemistry, if these guys fit, they improve. If you got a really good guy next to you or on both sides of you, they raise the level of you. They can raise your capabilities and make you even better because you fit that scheme. Ramon Foster was never the central piece of the Steelers offensive line, but he was a key cog of the line that was one of the best in the NFL during his tenure. So I'm excited to see Spencer Anderson. I want to see Brock Hoffman because he is a guy also who brings versatility, incredible depth. So we start talking, and you're like, how many offensive linemen can they keep? I've heard 10. People are throwing it out there 10. Because, when you come at the bottom, after you count your starting 5 of Falatino and McCormick and Frazier and Anderson and Cook is who I think is going to be the starters tonight. Well, there's your 5. Well, then you got Roderick Jones. I mean, a guy who's in there and trying to make this roster and not start the year on the PUP list, which I thought he would. But, he seems like he's trying hard and he's fighting. Then you have Brock Hoffman, who I mentioned earlier. And then brings us to Jennings Dunker, a guy who I know we're all excited. I think Jennings Dunker is the future. I just don't know if he's the present. Because, again, he's making a switch from tackle to guard. He has played guard before, but, I mean, at the NFL level, he's never played either. So there is more of a growing curve. So I'm not wanting to rush him. But the guy's a mauler, and he's the future. Well, there's your 9. Well, you also got Ryan McCullum. Now, let's remember, guys, people who have been fans for a few years, remember after Pouncey left, center, which has long been one of the Steelers' bright spots. And everybody, Steelers are famous for the centers. The greatest legacy at center of any franchise, hands down, nobody else close. Starting with the immortal Mike Webster. But after Pouncey, the Steelers, it was a dry spell. Just it was awful. With Kendrick Green, we'll just leave it at that. Then Mason Cole, who was functional at best, but he looked like light years better. So the bar got dropped lower and lower and lower. So now, of course, we got Adam Frazier. But, last year, Frazier missed, he's been very blessed to have good health and he's very reliable. But if he goes down, I've always been, you've got Spencer Anderson can play center, but he hasn't done it in the NFL. Brock Hoffman has extremely limited snaps at center in the NFL. And then who you going to play? I mean, Ryan McCollum, I think, has value. And I think Ryan McCollum is as good, if not better, than a lot of starting centers around the league. And if the Steelers try to put him on the practice squad or get him to clear waivers, I think he'll be gone. Again, that's 10 guys. So what do you do? Well, that's why I'm a guy who's really big on versatility and guys that can fill multiple positions. And what I mean is, on the offensive line, it's so much about chemistry and cohesion that you don't want to be swapping guys around and moving them around a lot. If a guy's the backup, he's the backup, and you want him to be able to focus on that because you might need him at one of the other positions. I like guys who, like I said, that's why I was so high on Max Hurlman last year or Eli Heinrich this year, Spears Jennings this year. Guys that can, the guys I'm talking about can play multiple positions, but fill multiple positions on the 53-man depth chart. They got to make the team first, yes. But I'm saying if they, meet expectations or exceed expectations. So it's going to be interesting, man. There's going to be some real battles this year. And it all starts tonight with the preseason game. So let's see if we got any other new comments. I see Mark Malone. Hey, Mark. If you traded JPJ yet in the thread yet, I love it, man, because you get everybody fired up when you do that. Kevin Reed says that Howard steps up in pressure situations. And Mark says, I bet Ducker released a few guys out tonight. One thing that man can do is pancake guys and move bodies. He's a people mover. So, yeah, I expect him to be ultra intense. Because one thing about Iowa boys, especially on that offensive line, when they come in, they're physical and they're intense. And we remember McCormick was like that. And that's who Dunker reminds me of. I think he's actually more talented, maybe. Everybody's talking about wanting to see Bernard. We all been waiting on him. Here's a question or a comment from Andre Green. It says, Shannon, do you think McCarthy will start any rookies tonight, or will they come in later in the game? I was trying to think. I think we'll see Bernard. I think Bernard will start because, again, Metcalf and Pittman are out. So I think that's one right there. I think Honachor was in the running before the injury. So, but I don't know about week 2. We'll see how tonight goes, right? We'll see how tonight goes and whether Cook can hold him off. Because, I mean, the guy's got it all. He just, there's no substitute for experience. I don't know how many times, like my son will have an interview and they're like, we love everything about it. He said, but this person has 20 years experience. Well, guess what? You're not going to get experience until somebody gives you the opportunity. So, but I just think that he's been so impressive in every aspect. And the coaches know his demeanor, his maturity level. And if all that matches up and he's a good fit on this line and they're all comfortable with him, we don't know what's going to happen. But as far as rookies, Bernard, I think we'll see Weegan as the starting kick returner. And I don't know who's actually going to be playing tonight at safety because they've got all the injuries. And guys made up. I know they brought in Jenkins and the young man Muhammad from Dallas. It has some experience in there. But Robert Spears Jennings has had more snaps than those guys. So you might even see Robert Spears Jennings. Let's see here. What else we got? Uh, Mark Cunningham, let's see here, says if Ryan McCollum is your number 10 offensive lineman, you're pretty darn good deep in that room. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. But the thing is, it's like I do believe that McCollum is a guy. I mean, we went from having no centers to now we might have two starting capable, but Frazier's generational, in my opinion. So McCollum might deserve a chance to be a starting center in the NFL, and it might be his best interest if they do try to put him on waivers and somebody picks him up. Because at one time, when we were dealing with Kendrick Green and Mason Cone, guys, I'd have loved to have McCollum as my starting center. Let's see here. Drake says, my guy, I could definitely be wrong too. Shannon will know better. Well, I don't know if I know better, but we're all wrong from time to time. So let's see. Pickens, you big dummy, says, I'd rather have an extra O lineman than four quarterbacks. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. If you keep that fourth quarterback, somewhere else it's going to affect your depth. It has to, because you only have so many spots. That's what makes it so hard. But see, I think a lot of it, again, with the quarterback, comes down to my viewpoint of the team versus a lot of people. I'm looking for this. This is a new process, a new regime, and it's going to take some time for this to all come together and to function smoothly, like a well-oiled machine. It takes time, guys. You can't cheat or rush the process. So this year, I'm not expecting Super Bowl. I'm sorry. I will be thrilled beyond belief if it was to happen. And I would love to be wrong, but I think this is the first year of a process. And when you go into this, it's a 2 to 3 year plan. If you rush, I mean, if everything goes great. So I'm thinking about who's going to be here and who's going to have value 2 or 3 years down the line, not just this season. If the Steelers are ultra focused on just this season and ignore the future, then I think they're selling themselves a counterfeit. Because I'd hate to see. We know Drew Aller ain't going anywhere, but if Howard has more long-term value than Rudolph, I'd rather keep Howard. That's just how I look at it, because I'm not totally sold that this is the season they're going to win a Lombardi. I don't see it, but Howard still hasn't proved anything either way. So I just, like I said, it's too early even in this preseason process to say or predict with any accuracy any of this stuff. But right now it's hard to see keeping four quarterbacks. Let's see here. Mark Cunningham says, Drake, I would love to see Bernard and Everett start. No need for Dean to play tonight at all. Yeah, I wonder about that. Do they want to get him out there tonight, or because he don't have his running mate Joey Porter Jr. and we know Asante Samuel Jr. and Everett and Eccles if he's healthy. They have some impressive cornerback depth. That young man Slaughter has been making a lot of plays in camp from eyewitnesses, and it seems like there's Tristan White. It said, "Hey, what's up, Shannon? How's it going, buddy?" And Lawrence Thompson. But Scott Henry says, "What's good, Shannon?" Well, everything's good. I'm blessed, and hopefully you are too. But yeah, I would love to see Dean, because we haven't got to see him yet. But again, is it worth risking? Because I'm really excited when we could get Joey Porter Jr. signed and get Ramsey back healthy. We really need to see that before the preseason's over. Because Ramsey is going to be so vital this year as that flex piece, that star position. Right now, the Steelers got to figure out who's going to back him up, who's going to be the second and third star position. I like Dylan Everett. I'm telling you, I think he's got everything to be the star position, and be that versatile piece you can move around. And Spears Jennings. These guys are going to have to work out of the slot some. They're going to have to play a little bit of safety, a little bit of down linebacker. And I think all three, Ramsey, Everett, and Spears Jennings, has the size, speed, and toughness factor to fill that role. Mark Malone said he's looking forward to seeing the young guys. Yes, I think we all are. See, Andre Green says, Shannon, when Coach Noel became the Steelers coach in 1969, how many years passed before the Steelers became a legitimate Super Bowl contender? Well, again, there you go. Noel took over. He didn't have the talent that McCarthy has. They started building, and they started building with Mean Joe, and then Terry Bradshaw, and then Mel Blount, and so it just that was a different era and a different time. But even then, they won in 72 with the Immaculate Reception. It was kind of fluky, but they won their first playoff game. But what I'm saying is, before I thought that, looking back, I don't remember. I remember 75 basically is when my memory goes back as a child. But when you look at the timeline, they had to have that great draft in 74. And we're talking about Noel and Bill Nunn and all them guys. That's what put them over. But they were still in process, right? Because back then you mainly had to build through the draft. And it took longer for Terry to develop into being a bona fide NFL great. So, but so it's kind of different now. But there's still a timeline and there's still a process. And it's sped up now with free agency and we're in a knee-jerk reaction society. Everything's got to happen immediately or it ain't going to happen. But one thing I will say that seems to be, looking back, the great players were always showed glimpses of being great. Even Troy Polamalu, who did not have that great rookie year, but you could see that it was there. But he had to feel free to play that freelance instinctual style. And it took the right combination and the right defense and nickel and all that. But they figured it out. But a lot of times the great guys are great from the get-go. And you see something, you go, that's special. And hopefully the Steelers have some of that on the roster right now. Mark Malone says, yeah, I think they're prepping Everett for that role. I think they are. Oh, wow. Hampton says, hi, Shannon, we're heading out for a steak on the stone. I've always wanted to try that. Hope y'all enjoy it. It looks delicious. I'm a carnivore. So, yeah, I would love to go there and try that. When we was up there last time, I can't remember where we eat, but we didn't get to go to but I would like to go eat that steak on the stone. Hope y'all enjoy it and have a great time. And I'm assuming they're having it in Pittsburgh because I know there's a place right there in Pittsburgh. But I'm saying they might be at the game. And so hopefully, if you are, hopefully it's enjoyable. There's Hammy. Hey, Hammy. He said, told Afton to enjoy it. Let's see here. I got, let's see. It says, pick at you, Big Dummy. He said, Shannon, do you think the new coaching staff will help the young guys develop better? Oh, they have to. Pickens, they have to. Nobody slow played and slow rolled young talent like Mike Tomlin and the previous coaching staff. They just wanted veterans everywhere. And again, like I said earlier, you can't get experience without opportunity. And if they wouldn't give them opportunities, and when they did, heaven forbid you made a mistake. Because if you made a mistake, you wouldn't see the field again at all. Afton answered my question. Said North Shore Tavern, yep, across the street from PNC Park. We've seen the commercials, yeah. And I know different people have seen it, said it's great. So I hope you enjoy it. And it come later and tell us about it on a future podcast. Let's see here. Got my buddy Wes says, I might be by myself on this one, but I don't think Ramsey is going to be a huge factor on defense. Wow. Said he's hurt and going to be older. He's lost a step last year, and I don't think it's going to be any better. Okay, now that's all legit. Those are legit concerns. We know that as guys get older, they either have to adapt, they have to evolve, or they're no longer relevant. I think Ramsey has the ability to evolve. and adapt to being a half step slower. I see his trajectory. Rod Woodson did it. Charles Woodson did it. Now we're talking about 2 all-time greats. But Ramsey has had a great career. He's got his Super Bowl. He's got all pros, Pro Bowls. He understands, it's inevitable, guys. That's why it's hard to get a running back over 30 that can still be a top producer. It's inevitable that we slow down. We lose a step. We're not as explosive and quick twitch as we once were. You have to be able to adapt. Now, when you can no longer do it with your feet, you do it with your brain. And I think Ramsey has the toughness and the intelligence to overcome anything he's lost in that half step by making this position switch to where he won't be matched up outside on a regular against Jamar Chase, Jefferson, Higgins, any of these top receivers. He'll be able to do some slot, do some safety, to some off-ball linebacker, some box safety, linebacker, however you want to say it. I think he can do it. So he has to prove it, and he has to be healthy enough to prove it and get out there. So that's my bigger concern. It's not the half step. It's can he stay healthy, because I don't know how this injury happened, when it happened, but what happens as we get older? Look at J.J. Watt. That's my concern about T.J. Watt. These injuries happen more common as we get older. Let's see here. Everybody's telling Afton to enjoy her steak. Scott Henry says the steak I hear is wonderful. Yes. I think we're all excited. Now we're getting hungry. Thankfully, it's lunchtime. Now I can't eat right now because I eat once a day. I'm an intermediate faster, and I eat once a day. That's one way I've lost 100 pounds. But talking about all this steak and everything's making me hungry right now. Y'all are having lunch, hopefully, and hopefully you can enjoy you something and kind of quell them stomach grumblings and before you get back to work. Mark Cunningham said Ronnie Lott did it also. Yes. And here's Mark Malone said, man, how many back surgeries did JJ have? I can't believe he kept coming back. It's hard to admit, when things are changing like that and decide to walk away. It's hard for anybody, especially if you're passionate. Scott Henry, I like the name of that, Steak and Stillers. Yeah, man, if I could eat steak while I'm doing it and still talk and communicate, I would. But as Mark said, JJ was so dominant, and it's hard. And a lot of guys, like, I think it's, as great as Tom Brady was, and the greatest, I'll give him props. He's the greatest winner in the history of the NFL. The guy just was obsessed with football, devoted his whole life to it. What was he going to do without football? And he didn't know. And I think it cost him his marriage, his family. I mean, the guy a lot of those guys, not just CTE, but just how it impacts their later life with their joints and all the aches and pains from all the surgeries and what damage it did, to their relationships, to their marriages and their families. So it takes full dedication, especially greatness. And some of them guys, they sacrificed an awful lot to get where they got. So I'd like to see. I don't think there's any reason to play, say TJ tonight, or play Cam Hayward. Let's let these young guys. The Steelers have depth now. They really do. Across the board, they have depth. Really, more than adequate depth. So let's keep up those guys, especially who's got a little long in the tooth, maybe a little OG. Keep them out and let these young guys get in there and get experience and get some work. But I think we're caught up on the comments. Anybody have any more comments or questions? Be sure to share them. We've kind of went through the offensive line. The receivers, Braden Smith, training camp darling. He's a journeyman, been on multiple teams through the years. But for a team that needs, I think, a fifth receiver, somebody who can catch the ball, who's willing to do the dirty work on special teams, and is reliable. He's competing for that wide receiver 5. Uh, Now, to me, Skoronek's got the lead there. But, Skoronek is not, he's had a flash here and a flash here, and he's so good on special teams. But I think Braden Smith is a more natural receiver. So I think there could be a little bit of a competition there. And, and my disappointment is the guys like Max Hurlman and Eli Heinrich. They haven't really, well, here's some good things coming out about them at camp, but we want to see it in the preseason game. Heinrich's dealt with a little hammy strain, but looks like he's going to be able to play. But I'd like to see either one of them guys, again, because of their versatility, and they can man a couple of positions on the depth chart, will allow you to keep a 10th offensive lineman or an extra defensive lineman or an extra guy in the secondary, which, would have great value during the season. Because if everything goes right at wide receiver, or at running back, the Steelers, they've got depth there. They need somebody that can fill multiple roles, in my opinion. That would be optimal. Let's see here. Audrey Green says, I can't help when I hear about CTE and not think about the late, great Mike Webster. Yes. Even he was such a great player and so vital to those Steelers teams and championships. But his story, how horrible and sad that story is, how many people has it helped? Think about that. The rule changes and the equipment upgrades. And Mike Webster still is impacting the NFL to this day. So his legacy is far beyond just football and what he meant to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think we'll see less and less of these CTE injuries and guys suffering later in their life. And a lot of that is due to the great Mike Webster. Let's see here. What else we got? Somebody said Mike was only 50. I know, it's just tragic. There's Kathy. Hey, Kathy. Says, hello from Steeler Country. Shannon, Mark, everybody. Yep. Know what I said. Like and subscribe. Yeah, we've want this thing to continue to grow. Everybody now is reaching out and saying hello to Kathy. I'm assuming she's there with Hampton and hopefully we'll get to watch the game and maybe have some steak on the stove. But yeah, tonight we got beyond the guys we've already discussed. The tight ends, I think it's kind of settled. In my opinion, if they keep 3, it's probably going to be Freiermuth and Mount Washington and probably Robert Tonyan, because I think the Steelers on the depth chart at least have Nowakowski listed as a fullback. But I think with his ability to be, he's not an inline tight end. He don't have the size to be an inline tight end. So I believe his value is H-back, fullback. So if something was to happen and Washington was to go down, you could have Tonyan bring him up from the practice squad. But I don't know. I think that they really like Tonyan, and he has a history with Rodgers and with McCarthy. So Tonyan might sneak in there. There's Jaime. Says, very true, Shannon. I always say how today's game is for sissies. But yeah, it's sad to see CT take our hero away. That's the thing, Jaime. I don't like some of the aspects of the kinder, gentler NFL, the way the game is played. But honestly, in my heart of hearts, and I think we all can agree, when you see something like that happen to Mike Webster and so many of these other men that have paid the ultimate price because of playing the game, providing for the family, they made a great living and all, but they're no longer with us. the NFL had to do something. Now the equipment upgrades, it's much, much safer, but the rule changes had to take place. I like good, hard, slobber knocker football as much as the next guy. I do like dirty football. And I think there's a line that you have to watch. Some people want to cross. But I also don't like the fact that so many coaches did not teach proper tackling technique. And I'd say if I wanted to teach tackling technique, I would just put on a tape of Jack Lambert and say, that's how you tackle. He broke down. He took them long arms of his and wrapped up the guy. He did not lead with his head. I said from the moment they drafted Ryan Shazier, I said, that guy's going to kill himself someday tackling that torpedo, head down, don't see what you hit style. And then it almost happened. Scared me to death. So, thankfully, he's okay, but it ended his career. And that's sad in its own right. But that hitting with the head like that, that's a poster child for CTE. I think somebody needs to get with Scatterboot or that young running back for the Giants and say, hey, you can be tough, you can be a hard-nosed runner, but you don't have to hit everything with your head. I've seen little memes of him just running into stuff for no reason, just funny AI stuff. But really, that guy needs to quit leading with his head. Let's see here. Oh, there's Claude. Hey, Claude. And a super chat. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated. Claude says, great show, Shannon. Keep up with the good work. Hey, I appreciate the encouragement from all of you guys. That's why I do it. I've said for a long time, it is nothing. I started doing writing because I wanted to help the younger generation who maybe didn't get to see some of the things and experience some of the things that us OGs did. And then they asked me to do the podcast, and I really like that, and getting to have a voice and to have this one-on-one to speak directly and talk. And that's why I do it. I love the community. I love Steeler Nation, not just the Steelers. And even though we might not always agree on everything, I do love this community, and we are a family. And in any family, you don't always agree on everything, do you? But you still love each other. Here's the thing, I might say something about my family, but ain't nobody else going to. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I feel about Steeler Nation. And the know-it-alls, the guys, my colleagues are wonderful. I know their heart. I know their love for the Steelers and for this community. And that means something to me. And I love here that I can talk about every aspect of my fandom and my faith in my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And that means a lot to me. So you're getting the unfiltered, unedited version of me every week. So, but thank you so much again, Claude, for the super chat. Kathy's talking about 100% Claude, and Everton said the diabolical. I hear diabolical. Everybody's saying diabolical now. And the first person I heard use that regular was my buddy Big G. Everybody talking about it's game day. Andre Green, let me bring that up. He said, those Oakland Raider teams in the 70s, I say they play dirty and we're a dirty team. Amen. I love John Madden. I try to emulate a lot of I want to have enthusiasm and if it's real and you really are passionate, it shows through. You don't have to put on a show. You don't have to do any of that. Just be yourself, and people will see your passion, and true love shines through. And I thought John Madden loved football, and that's why I love to listen to him. But they was Jack Tatum and Atkinson, and they had some guys that weren't just dirty. They passed the line way, way back. I would just could not stand those Raider teams. I'll be honest with you. I don't think any of the Steeler fans could. Let's see here. Piggy Jim McW said, "Feck Shannon, that skinny guy that me Joe laughed at could tackle." yeah. I mean, I bet it was something for those guys to see Jack Lambert for the first time. I mean, no, missing in front teeth, and he was tall and lanky, but he looked really thin. He looked more like your local guy that was going to fix your roof than he did an NFL linebacker in ways. But yeah, the thing is if he weighed 220, let's say at the end of the season, and rumors were he was lighter than that at times, he brought every one of them pounds on every tackle because he could hit. I mean, he was lighter than Earl Campbell, but I've seen him have some just incredible collisions with Earl Campbell and some of them power runners back then. But yeah, he was such a great tackler. I love to watch him. I still love the highlights. Now Donnie Shell was the only reason I think Donnie Shell didn't have the CTE and the neck problems because he come in like a heat-seeking missile and a torpedo. But he just didn't have any neck. He was just stumpy. So I think that protected his neck, to be honest. It was like a helmet sitting on shoulder pads. After says lots of people wondering in jerseys already. Yeah. I mean, it's game day's awesome in Pittsburgh. There's an excitement in the air. Everybody's excited to be there. I like the people visiting, maybe first time getting to see or don't have season tickets because they're more excited. It's a life, a huge memory, life altering at times. That's great to experience together. I don't like the people that sit on their hands or clap like this. I want the people out there rooting and riding and raising some heck. Let's see here. I think I'm trying to get caught up in the comments here. After Green says, cheer hard for us tonight, Afton. Yes, you need to hold up a sign. It says know-it-alls. I mean, you're a colleague and a member and everything else. You hold up a sign, know-it-alls. Give us some free publicity. Tyrone says Bernard will kill it tonight. I hope so. I really do. It would be great to see. Let me hide that one. Mark Cunningham says Dr. Death at corner. Yeah, those Raiders. I mean, they had a lot of guys that were like Dr. Death. Somebody said how long it is till kickoff. Kevin Reach predicted Jack Sawyer sack. I'm really excited to see Jack Sawyer this year, guys. Jack Sawyer, I believe, he's a most 4-3s. He's your defensive end / edge. He's got that size, that strength. Him and Highsmith, I guarantee you, set the best edge in the NFL. At one point, it was Bud Dupree back in the day. But I believe that Highsmith and Sawyer can set a better edge than any other edge guy out there and gets the run. But they say Sawyer looks trimmer. He's really worked on his hand fighting, his get off, just like Highsmith did from his rookie year to his second season. I expect Sawyer to have a big year. I really do. And I'm looking forward to it. Let's see here. G-Stacks, hey G-Stacks, said, Shannon, what are you looking for in tonight's game? First and foremost, with all preseason, there's no major injuries. We just don't want to see anybody. I'm talking about for either team, but especially the Steelers. But I'm anxious to see, the things I want to see, I can't see yet. I want to see what Patrick Graham's going to do and shake this up and change this defensive scheme where it won't be so predictable. Because I believe the pre-snap versus post-snap, all these changes, it's going to be huge. But they're not going to show it in the preseason. The preseason is just vanilla. So we're going to have to look at the function. Which guys, listen, this is like a job interview tonight. You did the work, you went to school, you got your degree, you did good in the to get the interview. But now tonight is your first opportunity to show that you're not all talk, but you can walk the talk. that you were worthy. What did that team see, that employer see in you to bring you on board? This is your first opportunity to truly show it. It's not, somebody said it's not real football. Yeah, it is for these guys because this is their opportunity to shine. And that's what we want to see. Let's see here. All right, Tyrone Keatley says, Tyrone Keaton. I don't know why I want to say Keatley at the end of your name. I know a Tyrone Keatley. Maybe that's why. He said, Shannon, how many yards will Bernard get? I'm hoping to see, because I think that him and Wilson will have to play a little bit of extended minutes to give maybe even Rudolph and Drew Aller to work with him. So I'd like to see Bernard get 4 to 5 catches, 50, 60 yards. Now, with his ability to run after the catch, he might make that more. But I think he's going to work a lot of the underneath and a lot of quick routes, especially as they're getting the offensive line gelled and used, protection schemes. And I think we'll see Bernard and Wilson, occasionally they'll try to take the top off and back off the safeties. But I think we'll see Bernard work a lot of underneath and use those yak yard abilities. But I'd like to see 4 or 5 catches, maybe 50, 60 yards. And that's probably going to only be in the first half. Let's see here. Let's see if we've got any other questions or anything. Wes Hackett said, did you see Debo out there? Looks like he can suit up right now and play. That dude, man, one thing about it, he is committed to his physical fitness, whether he's playing in the NFL or not. He's kept his mass, his muscle mass, and his conditioning. That's a guy that just truly loves to work out and take care of himself and his body. When he retired, I don't think it's because he didn't have it anymore. I think he was just tired. I think he was done. Let's see. We're getting ready to get out of here in a little bit, but Jaime says, me too. Shannon, gotta love it and enjoy seeing Sawyer take the next step. That's what we're all hoping for. Hampton said what she's looking for tonight. I see somebody ask her earlier. She said, I want to see good communication in all 3 phases, aggression, and our guys correctly identified, whatever comes to them. Exactly, Hampton. That's big old facts, as G would say. That is so important tonight. Is McCarthy's been a little bit upset that they've had some, procedural problems. And he says they're not where they need to be. Hopefully they take a big step forward tonight. And we all want to see that. Piggy Big Debbie says, every play is your interview. Yes, it is. Let me try to catch up here real quick. Make sure I ain't missed nothing. Let's see. Somebody said if his legs work, let me bring that up. I've said if his legs worked, he could probably play right now. That's what goes. It really is. Yeah. You just, not that his legs ain't strong, but that is something that happens. You don't have that quickness anymore, that suddenness. And that usually starts, it said, with the legs. We've got Kenneth McNair. Hey, Kenneth said, what's up, Shannon? Just got on, but we'll listen back. What I want to see is good line play and good running from Caleb Johnson. That would be awesome. To see the offensive line gelling already and seeing this plan come together as on the A team, back when people nice remember the A team, George Brevard would say, I love it when a plan comes together. That's what we want to see. But I would. And Caleb Johnson, if he can come out and show what a great fit he is for this new, answer a lot of questions. Because I wanted to mention him earlier and I got off track, but Lou Nichols is pushing Caleb Johnson. That's good that they're pushing each other. But let me tell you something. That Lou Nichols, he was good last year, and he's bringing it this year too. Let's see here. Look and see if we got anything else real quick before we get out of here. Well, it looks like that we got to answer everybody, and we've had a great discussion. We're all super excited about the game tonight. We know Hampton's there, so hopefully she can give us some firsthand eyewitness accounts later on in the week and the upcoming podcast. I hope everybody enjoys the game tonight. Remember, here at Know It Alls, to like and subscribe. We are going to continue to be here and support each other through this season. And I know we're all going to share in the excitement. We'll revel in the victories and we'll cry together with the losses, but we'll never stop supporting our Steelers. Again, thanks to Kathy says that Rick Schofield, he'll be there tonight. So again, we'll have, and he's one of my colleagues and brethren from Steel Curtain Network. So yeah, we're gonna have some people that can tell us. I'm anxious to even hear how the fans are responding to this new regime. I think we're all excited. But everybody enjoyed the game tonight. Be safe. I know that I appreciate all of you, and look forward to talking to you next week. Love y'all, and God bless. Na 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 na.